Do. Okay, is the camera on? Yes, the camera is on. Hi, Lacey. It's Symbolic. I'm responding to your video on fat. Um, by the way, I really like your messages of tolerance, and you ended this video on such a positive, embracing note. It's great. Very good energy. Um, Fat. You brought up some really good points. The United States is totally obsessed with fat, completely obsessed, and it's this kind of weird, like this dread that has still gotten control of people, and like fat is out of control, like the Blob, like that horror movie, The Blob from the 1950s. What was that? I think it was Steve McQueen was in that movie. Amazing, his first movie or something. I like science fiction, you know. So, what I was thinking about milk, everybody's afraid of fat. So now there's all these kinds of milk. There's, well, for a long time, there's regular milk, which I guess is just milk from a cow. But I still think they thinned it out, took the cream out. Then you have the, 2% milk, no fat milk, blah, 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 blah. So basically what they've done is they've frightened us of milk. I mean, we're mammals. To frighten mammals about milk, I mean, that sets into place a horrible existential dread. I mean, how can you erode a mammal's confidence more than to make them afraid of milk? I mean, right now they're inventing all kinds of, I says artificial or inflated fears, like, there's terrorists in your soup, or, all these weird things they're inventing. But none of that is even a tenth as devious as scaring us about milk. Um, what animals are not fat? Um, Lizards, insects, they're not fat. They're not mammals. Um, Lizard things, alligators, they're not fat. Bugs, yeah, insects, they're not fat. Interesting, huh? But we do. I mean, I think fat gets us through ice ages. We may be needing some fat coming up. Maybe that's why people are getting fat. We just unconsciously sense that an ice age is coming along, and so we're starting to get fat. And we're all going, well, why are we getting fat? And really, what it is we're in touch with some impending ice age. It's just an idea. I just like to follow ideas to their absurd conclusions, and if I can push it towards an absurd conclusion, I enjoy doing that. So, so anyway, fat, a certain kind of fat is attractive. It means viability, survivability, um, you know, uh, fullness, healthiness, and all that. It's like the opposite of a skeleton. So what kind of fat is not attractive? And I was thinking, perhaps fat that is not useful, fat that's superfluous, fat that is never going to be used. Maybe that is, and lots of fat that is never going to be used. You know, um, maybe that's not attractive. Maybe everything that's superfluous leans towards the unattractive. Um, of course, comedy does too. I mean, ugliness is and distortion is a part of comedy too. So I don't know. I guess are clowns overweight? I think they are. I think the typical clown tends to be overweight. The mimes are skinny. Now that's interesting, but mimes aren't really humorous. They're kind of like satirical. I'm wandering hopelessly around here, Lacey. Help me out. Get me back on track with something. In any event, fat and fear are connected. Um, I agree with you completely that the opposite, this thing that the media has done with basically emaciated people, that it's not just a question of them surviving the ice age. You wonder if they're going to survive a cold wind. That's a really terrible image to hold up. It's death. So is fat life? If that's death, I don't know. There's a lot of things alive that don't have that. There's a lot of things alive that don't have fat. I mentioned the lizards or the birds. Now, see, if we could, how could we market this? If we could get parrot milk, it's hard to get parrot milk, very difficult. First, you got to catch the parrot. Milking the parrot is very difficult, and they have very sharp beaks, and yet you could lose a finger really easy. But if we could market our parrot milk and talk about how parrots are not fat, and it would be a weight loss diet, the parrot milk diet, we would be in great shape. We could get rich on that. We couldn't sell insect milk just it's got to be venomous, right? No one would buy that. But you know, I'll bet you people would turn out in droves for that parrot milk. They would. They'd be willing to go milk the parrots themselves. What a surprise is in store for them. Anyway, Lacey, nice talking to you. I really like your videos. You're a positive human being, and I like your philosophical approach to life. It's compassionate and realistic and bright. So I'll throw in some more, but I think the idea of parrot milk. A funny thing just happened. You know, the video ended early because my finger slipped and I hit. I was going for the stop button and I moved too quick. Anyway, I ended up hitting the enlarge button, and the whole picture on the computer blew up enormously and became huge and fat. And then it just all fell apart. It was all chaotic. But I'm back on now, not just to provide a sort of more graceful ending to the video, but to say that one of the last thoughts I had before the thing went disintegration on me was that either in this video or in another video you talked about people with lots of muscles. Some people think it's attractive to just muscles everywhere, every single muscle in the body. I don't know how many hundreds we have, must be, um, stand out and have definition. Well, I was thinking those are superfluous muscles. So that's not attractive either, because those are muscles that are never going to be used, and it's just way too much anyway. It's totally superfluous. So that, again, is unattractive. So I think superfluidity and unattractiveness may indeed be connected beyond my own mind. So now, Lacey, I'm going to try to turn this thing off right. Here goes. Enchanté.